Good afternoon, YouTube family. My name is Zandi, and the name of this channel is Journey to Purpose TV. If you're new in this channel today, welcome, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I want to talk to you today about an issue. In fact, it's a confession that I want to make about an issue that happened to me a while ago in my life. Not sometimes, but as human beings, we make mistakes in life. But I believe it is important for us to share those mistakes with others so that others cannot repeat the same mistakes that we made. So this is the reason I'm making this confession, because I want every bondage associated with it to be cut off my life, and to be cut off the person that it also affects, or the persons that it also affect. If you watched my last video, one of my last videos, you will know that I was married to a passport brother, because on YouTube does not promote that F word, that F word that we call people who don't belong in your same country. Let's call them the passport brothers for now. I was married to a passport brother, and it so happened that even though the marriage was short-lived, but I happened to be pregnant during that time. But he left in the process, right? He left me while I was pregnant. So when we were together, we were running a shop together. So after he left, apparently he sold the shop to one of his homeboys or brothers or whatever without my knowledge. So I ended up being unemployed, homeless, and all things like that. So it so happened that I decided to go to Joburg to look for work. And it's only when I was in Joburg that I discovered that I was pregnant. But for the better part of the pregnancy, I became so in denial. I thought, no, this is not happening to me. I'm not accepting this, hoping, imagine as old as I was then, but hoping that it would leave just by me wishing it not to happen, something that's already been done. As a result, that led me to try to terminate the pregnancy severally, but that would not happen. By God's grace, that would not happen. Like, my daughter is turning 10 years this year, and I thank God that He did not allow that to happen. Yes, I'm not promoting terminating pregnancy and things like that. That is not something I would promote. But at that stage, I found myself in that situation where, being a child of God, I would even think of doing that, because things were hard. Imagine going without food for 2 weeks, pretending that you are fasting when you know that you are not. And I became in denial. I told myself, no, I'm not, up to a point where I ended up saying negative things about the fetus that was inside my womb, and to the fetus that was inside my womb. So you can imagine what that would have done to a child who is unborn, because when women are pregnant, they even speak to their children while they are in the womb, and it is said that a child can hear what you say to them. So women would love on their children while they are still in the womb, pamper them, brush their tummies, and speak life to them. But in my case, I spoke negatively, your words that I wouldn't repeat here on this channel, but it was things that wouldn't create a good future for the child that was in me. Up until some time, I collapsed on the street. I didn't even know how far I was, because You know, when you don't want something, you don't even care to follow it up to know how far it was because you are wishing that it was not there. I collapsed on the street, and a certain stranger picked me up and took me to a hospital. It was then that it was confirmed that I was already 8 months pregnant. And after realizing that, okay, it was this guy that had left that made me pregnant, and he doesn't want anything to do with me because he had said that to his friend that I must not be given his new contacts because he had changed the contacts that I know of him. So I realized, okay, let me be alone in this and my God. And I started changing my mindset about the pregnancy. I started asking for forgiveness to my child that was in the womb, that please forgive me for all the negative things that I said to you. I love you, you are my child, and I wish God's best for your life. I started trying to undo all the things that are negative that I have said about this child. And to tell you the truth, my daughter and I went through a lot of hardship. I don't know if it was because of those things that I had said to her while she was still in the tummy, when I didn't want the pregnancy before I decided to change my mind. But I'm making this video to confess that those things that I said about my daughter that are negative while she was still a fetus in my womb could have caused or might have introduced a spirit of rejection in her life, which I hope that as we take that to God, God has delivered her in some areas and will continue to deliver her as the whole thing is unveiled. The whole thing is a cause of rejection had happened. So I would like to advise someone out there, no matter how much you don't want the pregnancy, try not to say negative things about the child that is in your womb. I'm trying to warn someone because I know the negative things that came thereafter as a result. Sometimes I moan to God, Lord, I wish this could happen to my child. I wish this could happen. And it was only yesterday. Not that yesterday, but I was reminded at some stage. But yesterday, it dawned on me more than the other days that don't you think maybe some of the things you said to your daughter while she was in your womb are affecting her right now? So I really needed to make this video as a form of repentance from what I said. It's something I wouldn't want to repeat any time of my life. It's something I wouldn't want anyone to go through any time of their lives. So that is why I'm repenting on this video, asking God to forgive me. Yes, I have asked God to forgive me when I realized that the child has done nothing. The child I should just accept no matter my situation. To tell you the truth, I tried to use things, you don't know, I tried to use things that I would hear people, they say they use if they want to terminate a pregnancy. I would try to use them, but they never worked. That time I was angry that they never worked, but today I'm grateful to God that they never worked after seeing how life has turned out, even though things have not always been smooth between my daughter and I. I mean, the hardships that we went through, but I'm glad I have her. I'm really glad I have her because it was God's plan that I have her. And perhaps another video would come of how I gave birth and all the what do they call them, complications that came through childbirth and all that. But for now, I'm glad I had this opportunity to make that confession. And it's important also, if someone you are in this situation, to also make the confession to the child so that she does not hear it from other people but hears it from you. Like my daughter now would have to know of what had happened so that she has a tablet, she uses YouTube. One day she can come across this video. If I hadn't spoken to her about this matter, she'll ask me, Mama, how come you never told me that you wanted to do one, two, three? So you see, it's also important to let the child know, also to deliver her as a form of deliverance, because sometimes our children behave somehow and we blame them, but we don't know that it's because of the things we say to them, maybe on a daily basis or maybe at the time when they were still in our wombs. Okay, we will make another video following this one, perhaps about how difficult the childbirth was and the challenges attached to that. But I thank you for listening. I'm glad I've made this confession, and I would like to advise someone not to repeat the same mistake that I did. So thank you for watching. If you have a similar story or an advice to my story, please drop your comments down. Some people have gone through. You can also mention what you have gone through in your life. It might not be something related to childbirth. It might be related to a certain challenge in your life that perhaps you think might add to this. So please drop also your comments down. And I love you all. Thanks for watching. This is Journey to Purpose TV. Goodbye.